It's 2024 and the console that everyone wants is a PS5 Pro, but I've decided to buy instead an Xbox One S. I was on stream playing a game that looks a lot like Geometry Wars, but it wasn't Geometry Wars, and the only thing it made me feel was, I wish I were playing Geometry Wars. So, I looked up how to play Geometry Wars 2 Retro Evolved, which was peak video gaming. I figured the only way to play it was to get myself an Xbox. Now, I'm pretty sure if you've got an Xbox Series S or Series X, you can also access the store and buy it, but I figured, why don't I just save as much money as physically possible? I went on a shop called Mercari in Japan. It's a bit like eBay, but you just ask people. It's just like, can I give you $10 for that? And they'll be like, yeah. Anyway, I didn't pay $10 for this. Like $50? $50? It was really, really cheap. But I'm not just going to show you the best video game of all time. I'm also going to show you this. Victrix handed me one of these while I was at EVO Japan earlier this year. It's the Xbox version of the Pro BFG. Let's check it out. All right, I'm finally set up, but it took me a while because I plugged the HDMI cable into HDMI in, when actually you need the HDMI out from the console to go to the monitor. It makes perfect sense now. But as you can see, I have this controller, which was handed to me free of charge from Victrix, not for any specific purposes, they just wanted me to have one. So if you're unfamiliar with Geometry Wars 2 Retro Evolved, the main thing was that they had 6 different game modes. This is Deadline mode. You would use the right stick to shoot your enemies, like so, and then use the left stick to move around. This is super common now, but at the time, there were not as many games that had this mechanic. This is just pretty standard. Every now and then, a new kind of enemy or wave of enemy will appear. There is another mode called King, where basically you have to be inside these little circles in order to shoot. When you're actually outside of these circles, even if I use the art stick like this, you can see no bullets arrive, or I can't shoot anything at all. But then when I go inside here, suddenly I regain the ability to shoot. The only thing is that, as you can see, those safe zones kind of disappear. As far as I can tell, Evolved was basically the same as Deadline, so I never really played it. Waves was actually my second favorite. So in Waves, as you can see, there's just like a straight line of enemies, and what's really cool about that is that means you could just shoot in a straight line like this and essentially get everyone all at the same time, which is really addictive. But the thing is, as you can see, because they have multiple waves going at the same time, even though you can get them all in a straight line of projectiles like so, it gets harder and harder because there are multiple waves at the same time, and it's really tricky. The other one is Sequence, which as far as I can tell is, again, it's just the same as Deadline, but for some reason they tell you what the sequence is going to be. So that is all the modes, but now I'm going to show you the mode that is the reason why I've put this weird sniper stick on here, and it's this one up here. This game is called Pacifism, and it is like the main reason why this game was so popular. In my opinion, this is the reason why the game was so popular. Because you run around, I got a score of 0. You don't actually use the right stick. Even if I use the right stick, you can see nothing is happening. It's only movement with the left stick. So I can actually take my right hand off the controller entirely and play the game like this. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong screen. All I have to do is go through these gates, which explode. If I explode the gate with the enemy like close by, they explode as well. But what you really want to do is you want to get as many of them together in a big clump and then explode them, because then you get all of those multipliers and they're close enough together that you can actually pick them all up. If you like explode these enemies, you get the points, but you don't get the multiplier until you pick up the little green gems. This is probably the most addictive game I have ever played. To this day, I'm still playing this game from like, how old is this? It's like 15 years ago, I think. Oh my goodness. The game is from like 15 years ago, and it's still the most addictive thing I have ever played. The most amazing thing about Pacifism, which a lot of people don't really understand, is the sound. Listen to the sound when you lose, okay? The first like 30 seconds or so, pretty easy, but then suddenly it ramps up. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm doing this! It's like running into a zombie horde, but they're not zombies, they're just blue diamond shapes. Oh my goodness, I'm actually goated. Oh! Okay, so the reason that is so shocking when it happens is because of the sound design at that moment. It goes wow, and that sound alone is not super like shocking or anything, but it's because it's got this hard pumping music. You're in the rhythm with the game, and then suddenly, like, no matter where you are, the moment that you bite the dust, it just goes BWAH, and it's just such a shock. So this is what we're going to do. It's 2024, and I'm going to beat my high score of 146 bazillion. If you allow too many of those gates to build up in a single area, then that area becomes impossible to navigate, because like those orange zones are the parts you can't touch. I feel like I've already made this video before when the game came out. When I think Geometry Wars 3 came out on PS Vita. I made a video about that. At that time I was using my screen. Oh, what? Lag? The game lagged for a second. I don't remember what the architecture. And it's so unexpected because you're like in the flow. This is something I've been reading a lot about recently, but just flow as a state of mind when you're at like the peak moment of, or sorry, the peak balance between something that is fun and easy to do, but also challenging. That's when you're like in flow. And that's what makes this game so addictive, because it gets you into flow, but then it just stops you dead. Like something goes wrong and it's just like the cord is ripped out of the console. That's how it feels. Oh no! Oh! Ooh, ah. I realize I'm making sounds that I have never made before here. That's all thanks to Geometry Wars! Ah! Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. You know what? I think actually... I can't believe I'm saying this. I think that the sniper attachment on this controller is actually doing the job. It's actually helping. I feel like I have more control over my movement because obviously with a longer radius, like a longer stem, you do have a wider range of movement to effect. Oh, the same amount of rotation. Oh, okay. Something you may not know is there was actually an iOS version of this game as well. I used to play this on iPad. It was actually surprisingly easy to control. I was often almost late to class. I would often show up at class like, hi guys, sorry I'm almost late. Maybe I showed up actually late. Oh! Wonder what Victrix is thinking. They're probably like, when we gave you the controller, we were hoping you'd test out fighting games. I'm like, nah, just gonna play Geometry Wars. Something I did discover as an interesting tactic is if you can look ahead and like see where you're going, that can seriously help. A lot of skills are like that, you find, where in order to like get better at something, you need to not be looking at the thing you're doing now. You need to be one step ahead. Not just because it sounds cool, but because actually that's just the efficient way of doing it. Like, human reactions are so slow that the only way to be fast enough is to not be looking at the thing you're doing. And that's when you can like rely on your muscle memory to handle like the current action at hand. And at the moment, honestly, I'm like in flow. I've reached flow state where I'm not even really paying attention to the game anymore. My hands are just kind of doing it for me, which in a way kind of makes it less fun. Once an activity becomes not cognitive anymore, it's like, okay, I'm not focusing on it. Am I still enjoying it? Ah, I can't believe that. I press restart so quickly, I don't even see what score I got. Did you know that the Xbox One S, it's called the Xbox One SAD. They actually called this console the sad Xbox. Xbox One S, all digital edition. Microsoft, jokers. The other reason why I like this game is because it's a default game for me. When I don't know what I want to do, when I don't know what I want to play, I think everyone has a default game that they go to. Like, they just boot up Fortnite, or they just boot up Grand Theft Auto, they just boot up Minecraft. Something that they can just do for hours and hours on end without really thinking. And this is definitely that game. My other game is Panel Upon Puzzle League. Geometry Wars 3 is a fun game. I enjoy it, but not as much as this. Like, the music was perfect. The pace was perfect. The visual presentation of just a standard 2D screen that doesn't rotate, perfect. Ah! 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 I'm alive! I'm alive! What's going on? Oh my goodness. Okay, still at 7 million, not that high yet. Oh my goodness! Let me out of here! Oh no! Get those multipliers! Ah! 13 million! Oh no! I swear, if I could have lived another like 10 seconds, it does happen. Oh my god! Ah! 18 million! Ah! Ah! What is happening? 49 million! 49 million gigawatts! Tom, what was I thinking? 10 million! Okay. I'll have to continue this later. Okay, sad news. Looks like I will never reach the high score of 146 million because, as you can see, the Xbox, I switched it off to go out, and when I came back, the light comes on. It sings a little tune when it turns on, but as you can see, nothing on screen. I suppose that explains why it only costs $50. $50? Sad, but I guess these things do happen. Anyway, I enjoyed Geometry Wars 2 while I had it for a short period of time. Maybe it's time for me to buy an Xbox Series S or X or something, some way that I can play this game. I really wish they would just put all of the Xbox games on PC so that we could just play them there. Check out this video next if you love a good video game. That's all for today. I've been NihongoGamer. I'll see you real soon.